Hey Gabriel, I just saw your topic of Armageddon, and I couldn't help myself. So here I am. These threats of asteroids and all that other stuff have always been here. Yet civilization has been around for around 5,000, 6,000 years. So hey, I don't see it being much of a problem for another 1,000 years to come around, and by then we'll probably be evolved into something else by then. After all, we are engineering our own evolution right as we speak. Transhumanism, I think, is going to be the trend of the 21st century, and we will finally take the reins of evolution and engineer it for ourselves. Natural selection will become human selection. And I could see us naturally over time phasing ourselves up, but I couldn't see an act of nature wiping out 6 billion people. Just don't see that happening, especially since we have all sorts of technology that enables at least some people to live several miles underneath the Earth's surface. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh, and as for an asteroid, I've actually heard that NASA has a technology to actually take a ship, put it on an asteroid, and actually put little turbos on the asteroid and slightly put it off the trajectory it's going so that it would just miss Earth. So apparently they can do that. And they actually are planning on doing that sometime soon. Apparently there's already an asteroid that's set our way, and it'll be here by between 2015 2020, something like that. I forget. I could be wrong in the year, but the technology supposedly is there. When you talk about the nuclear holocaust, the possible nuclear holocaust coming, you say that you see it as kind of like a product of religion. As much as I am often opposed to religious views, I don't see it as a product of religion. Yeah, if you remember, the Cold War was all about nukes. It was all about the arms race, the nuclear arms race. But who were the two players? A capitalist, secular country, which did have some religious entanglement, and the other side was a communist country. And as we all know, communist countries are ideologically atheist. So Russia was the big threat, yet they didn't have any God in their system, you know. So I just don't see how religion's behind it. I mean, that's the historical roots of the problem of nuclear armament is the Cold War. And religion basically had nothing to play with it. It just had to do with who had the most ICBMs and whatnot. Now the game the game used to be mutually assured destruction, where if one country would never fire on another country because they knew that if they fired on another country, they would ensure their own destruction. But now we have rogue states like Iran who do have a religious agenda and can arm themselves with nukes, but they don't have the arsenal America has, or Israel has, or France has, or China has. You know, they would only have the ability to make a couple, and they do not. Even if they were to set off one nuke, that doesn't provide an existential threat to humanity. Would it kill a few million people? Yes, but it doesn't pose an existential threat to humanity, I don't think. By the way, if we were to all die, if this apocalyptic scenario did happen, I actually think most Christians would be decent. I think a lot of Christians have kind of evolved past what they were in medieval times. You wouldn't think so by their rhetoric, but when you talk to a lot of Christians about the Crusades, they'll say, "Oh, those weren't Christians." We would never do anything like that, and I tend to believe them. Most of them seem very nonviolent. As a matter of fact, a lot of the passive resistance movement was due to Christianity and to a Christian, Martin Luther King Jr. So they've evolved past that point. The Protestants are. If you want to look for something that really is of danger, look at the Catholic Church, but that's a different story. The Protestants seem to be different. Tools to succeed. I think we'll tap into the globe. I think we'll tap into our resources. I think we will survive. I think we will become basically the consciousness of this planet. And you know what? I mean, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's what Nietzsche said. So if this big horror is coming, to me it'll be kind of like when we had the bubonic plague. You were Western Europe, whoa, big disaster. A lot of people died. But what followed? The Renaissance. After a huge period of destruction, usually there is a period of reawakening and enlightenment. For instance, after the dark period of the Depression in World War II, there came a long, long period of peace. So if this period of violence is coming that you're talking about, it'll be followed by an era of peace. The whole Roman proverb is, if you want peace, prepare for war. I don't say that we should engage in that deliberately, but usually it is the case that after great periods of strife, even greater periods of prosperity last, and much longer than the periods of strife. And I agree with you that money and God is a bad place to focus, but what shall we focus on? Humanity is a good thing to focus on, except, boy, we have a shady past, don't we? It's kind of hard to be idealistic about humanity, isn't it? I try to, just like you do, but hey, we'll see. Again, I think that we'll be strengthened by any bad things that are coming our way. Yeah. So that is basically my point of view on the end of the world. No one with a real nuclear arsenal is going to fire nukes at another country, especially not over religious war. The most likely it would be over geopolitical reasons, not religious reasons. And the little countries that would use nukes, like maybe Iran, kill a lot of people, but not an existential threat. And even if that period does come, we'll be a lot stronger after that.